Hey everyone, this is Michael with the general reading for Libra Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. I do hope this video finds you all well, whether you are new to this channel or our paths have crossed before. I am so excited to see what is in store for you for this month, for March, Libra, but I do want to just give a quick shout out and thanks to all of you who have supported this channel with your likes, shares, comments, and subscribes. As always, it is because of all of you I'm able to continue putting out these messages and doing this incredible work, so thank you all so much. I have kind of been changing things up on my channel a little bit, changing up the spreads. I just started a new mid-month series for those of you who missed that, called The Black Mirror, which is kind of a more personal, spiritual type of read. I am going to be trying something a little bit different, so I'll be curious to hear your feedback about this specific reading in the comment section down below afterwards. I do also have links in the description box for personal readings, Reiki sessions, donations for those of you who feel so called, as well as links for all of my social media accounts where I post updates, announcements, giveaways, discounts, and pick a card readings, or more like general card readings at this point. Again, all of that is in the description box down below. Lots of great things there. And I think I'm just going to start shuffling now. I feel like I'm missing something. For those of you who have been on my channel before, I don't know if you saw last month's videos, I'm not going to be doing the astrological report at the start of these readings anymore, simply because it just became too time-consuming and a lot of the messages were a little redundant. So really, I'm going to be focusing more on the tarot and incorporating astrology as I see fit. I did, however, write a blog for Saturn entering Aquarius, which is going to be happening in March, as well as the list of all the aspects and transits and kind of just an overall energy for March. So if you're curious about that, that blog post is down below as well. But let's see, what are the messages for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for March 2020? And I do just want to give you all the friendly reminder that this is a general reading, meaning not all of the messages that come forward are going to be meant for you specifically. If I don't pick up on your energy or this just doesn't resonate, that's totally fine. Nothing went wrong. I just didn't pick up on your energy. I always set the intention for these videos to reach the largest audience who needs to hear the message the most. So if it doesn't resonate, you're actually more than welcome to check out the other videos for your Moon, Rising, or Venus sign. If you don't know what those are, I have the natal chart calculator in the description box down below. And again, maybe there's something for you in the Black Mirror readings. Depending on when you're watching this, I may have one or two of them for your sign. I actually recommend looking at your moon sign for that one in specific. But let's see, what are the messages for Libra? We already have a few cards on the table, so I think I'm actually going to start off with what we have here. We do have the Judgment card as your overall energy. This is kind of what's catalyzing you this month. There's some really big energy and really big shifts. I feel like a lot of you are making some radical changes in your life and really stepping up to your path, answering your callings here. That's going to be a big theme for you this month. And we do have a Virgo full moon, which is going to be in your 12th house, especially if you are a Virgo, or I'm sorry, a Libra rising. That's going to be on the 9th. There is a lot of spiritual completion and culmination that's going to be happening. Some of you may be going through a spiritual awakening. Some of you may be ending one cycle, but it feels very personal to you. And I'm actually getting this image. I'm looking at this card, and I know these are not showing so well on camera, but we have these figures reaching out towards the heavens, and they're being raised from the dead here. And I'm actually getting the image of you like reaching for a fruit and able to take it. It's like something is coming to harvest. And that makes a lot of sense because Virgo is the sign of harvest. Something you've been working on for a while or something that you've been pouring your heart into, I do feel like it is available to you. You are, being called in a very big way. But there's this completion with it as well. And as you're stepping forward, You may be closing behind certain chapters of your life. You may be leaving a job. You may be leaving a relationship. And if that's happening for you, I don't want you to worry. There's definitely a lot of worry here with this Nine of Swords, okay? But I think a lot of this is kind of you psyching yourself out. With this Nine of Swords, I think it's just important for you to be aware of how your mind might be a little bit against you this month. And that, again, going back to that Virgo full moon on March 9th, you are going to be... I get the sense there's going to be a lot of anxiety. And it's almost like you've already answered this call. You've already stepped forward. It's like what's done is done with whatever the situation I'm picking up in, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a job, something else in your life. You've already stepped forward, and now you're kind of doing the Libra thing of second-guessing yourself, being like, oh my gosh, did I make the right decision? Oh my gosh, does this person really like me? Oh my gosh, like just kind of freaking out. And that makes a lot of sense, because that Virgo full moon brings up a lot of anxiety. Virgo can be very nitpicky, very detail-oriented. It's a great time to refine things, to perfect things, but out of check, that energy can make you a basket case if you're not careful. And I'm kind of seeing that a little bit, Libra, but it's not anything that's showing up external to you. It's actually telling me that it's really important for you to be very aware of your mind and very present. And your emotions might be a little strong around this time, especially with Mercury retrograde that's going on. That is in your 6th house, which is your house of routine, your house of health. You might be having some issues going on there, or kind of relapsing into some things. But that is ending on the 10th. And I feel like there is going to be this overall rebirth. But honestly, Libra, this is kind of an interesting month because we are looking at your opposite sign. We are looking at Aries. There might be some challenges this month in the form of pretty harsh reflections, and I don't want to freak any of you out, but generally speaking, when you're in the month of your opposite sign, things can be a little challenging, but I do feel like there's something, you're reaching for something good. And I don't want you to convince yourself that it's not good for you. You definitely have the discernment here. Or you're going to have to practice your discernment. You'll know if it's good for you or not. But again, this King of Swords. This is showing up as your challenge. This could be representing another air sign, another individual, but I actually feel like this is you. You really needing to kind of separate the emotions coming up from your thoughts, from your mind, from your plan. And that's not to say ignore your emotions. Oftentimes when we try to ignore our emotions, it only amplifies it and makes it stronger, right? You're definitely going to have to be tending to some things this month, kind of your anxieties, your whatever it is that's making you so nervous, whatever it is that's making you second guess something. It could be that someone you're dealing with is very stern. And they're not giving you a lot of information. They're kind of a hard person to read a little bit, and maybe that's making you be like, did I do something wrong? Am I doing something wrong? It could also just be referring to, a situation where you're not getting immediate results. You're not seeing an immediate response to something, and you're kind of freaking out a little bit. But Libra, this still feels good overall. Let's see what else we have here. This could be referring to an air sign from the past for some of you, and it's kind of stirring up some old anxieties as well. This is a general reading though, so that's not going to apply for everyone. Interesting. So this Four of Pentacles is showing up as your shadow. And sort of your rebirth, what's being changed within you. Some of you are holding back. And that's so interesting because it's like, again, you've already reached for this thing. You've reached for the fruit. You've gone for the temptation. At this point, you're kind of in the ride, you know? and now it's like you're suddenly walled off. I feel like this kind of tug of war with you, Libra. And this could very well have to do with a relationship. Especially if this is about a past person. It's like if you're talking to them, you're talking to them. And interesting how you're kind of solving this here. This holding back. You're actually holding on to a lot of burdens. And a lot of burdens from the past. And it's like whatever it is that you let go of, Libra, it's like you're afraid of it coming back to haunt you, but I don't think that's the case. Someone is trying to help you in this situation, or don't be afraid to ask for help. This was, again, something that kind of came up in your reading last month, if I'm not mistaken. Like, some of you needed to reach out to someone or ask for advice, and you were afraid to do that. If that's making sense for you this month, still be open to that. And, you know, I'm even looking at this Nine of Swords, and dealing with this energy, it is really important to talk to people. If you are having, like, a lot of anxiety, or you're kind of just being your own worst enemy, really talking it out with someone else, even if they're just listening, can really help you sort of track your thoughts and track what's actually true versus your fears you're projecting here. Let's pull one more card here. And with that Five of Wands, I think you've been in situations in the past with this group where you felt like you couldn't trust this person or reach out to this person. Or maybe you felt like you couldn't ask for help. You always had to do things yourself. You couldn't really count on other people. This is really a month about you opening up, and what I'm really kind of feeling into this now, more so than someone necessarily coming back from the past, because you have all of these planets moving through your house of relationships, Aries, your 7th house, you are changing the ways that you approach relationships in general. And some of you are letting go of some old defenses, some old guards. And I actually do feel like there is someone who is trying to help you. And maybe this is a past person, someone you're reconnecting with. The Seven of Swords is showing up, interesting, as a cure. I need to clarify this. What does this mean? Some of you, you were betrayed in the past, and you know what to look out for now, But it's not about closing your heart to everyone just because you were hurt. It's really important to open your heart. And I don't mean that in kind of that cliche, like, open your heart, let love in, there's a soulmate here for you. Maybe there is for some of you. But we have this hermit energy where you've kind of been keeping yourself a little isolated. Or distancing yourself from people. And it's so important. Oh my god. Yeah, this is everywhere. I don't know how I didn't see this, like, louder sooner. You're being very guarded with communication, Libra. Or maybe someone else's and it's making you nervous. Sometimes this energy can be switched. This is a general reading. A lot of the time, though, there's a lot of mirroring that happens in our relationship. So it goes both ways. You've learned so much discernment, though. You know deception when you see it. So trust your intuition a little more. You may not trust your intuition relative to other people. Maybe because you were hurt in the past and you thought this person was the love of your life, or you thought this was going to be a good person to work with, to do a business with, or something like that. Or there's just some situation where you're questioning your judgment because you thought you had something figured out. You thought you had this great plan, and it backfired. It didn't work in your favor. Something went wrong unexpectedly. But now, Libra, it's different. You have more clarity, but it's almost like you're seeing things, you're looking for issues too closely. Because you're afraid you're going to miss something. And you actually have a lot to offer. If someone is coming to you for advice, or someone from the past is coming back to you, they see that you have something to offer them. And you might not believe that. You might also be skeptical of them. But you've seen the truth of something. You've seen the true colors of a situation or a person. And you may be showing that to other people. Whether that's hardships you've went through, or a specific individual or a specific situation, and you're like, hey, you should be aware of this. This happened to me. You have something to offer. There are so many swords here and pentacles. This actually feels a lot about, like, your daily life, your mind. I feel like there's one more card that wants to come out, and then we'll do some oracle messages for you. Knight of Cups and Six of Cups. Oh my god, yeah. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, Libra. I was saying before, like, I don't necessarily think this is someone coming back from the past. There really could be, though. Or there's just someone on your mind who keeps coming up. It's like, why does this person back on my mind? Why am I thinking about them so much? There's something that needs to be healed there. Someone wants to apologize, and it is like, it almost feels like you thought that was done and over. And now, Libra, you need to trust your own intuition with this situation. But don't go looking for problems. Don't go looking for the red flags either, because you might be creating problems. Definitely talk to other people. Definitely work this out. Because your mind is kind of a little tense right now, but you're healing something from the past. Especially with this Judgment card. And that doesn't necessarily mean you're all going to reconcile with your ex, you're all going to get back together. I'm not saying that. Some of you might, though. If there were a month for that to happen, it might be March for this group of people. But it could also just be you healing something from the past, healing that relationship, moving on from it, or really resolving whatever was unresolved from that situation within yourself. And you may do that through a conversation with this person. It may just be something that's bubbling up with inside of yourself. This is a general reading, so again, it's going to happen for all of you a little bit differently. I want to really stress that. But you've gained a lot of wisdom since whatever it was that happened went down. And maybe the expectations you're going in with is what needs to change as well. You know what to expect with this energy. I gotta be honest that some of you are dealing with someone who's a little shady. And you know full well if that's your situation, you're like, yep, yeah, I relate, I get this. You've seen that. You've seen their games, but whether or not they're sincere, I think you'll actually know in your heart. Some of you won't. Actually, as I said that, I felt kind of this fear, this anxiety. You really need to heal that and sit with that and become clear. You don't have to rush into the situation. Although for some of you, it feels like there is sort of this push. If something isn't registering as right, do take some time to think about it. But Libra, again, I think you can actually trust your judgment here. I feel like this was actually similar to your Black Mirror, if I'm not mistaken, which, again, it's another series of readings I do on this channel. Maybe there's something helpful for you there. I could be wrong. I know there was a Black Mirror reading that was like this, though. I actually want to say it was Aries. So if you have any Aries placements, you might want to look at that. But we are dealing with relationships. That's funny. We are dealing with Aries seasons. I don't know. Whatever the case, Libra, there's some similarities there. And you've doubted yourself because of a past situation, and don't doubt your own judgment. Black Egg and Nightingale. Ooh, there's a real conversation that's going to happen. I'm getting this now. Okay, whatever it was with the Seven of Swords, I'm not necessarily feeling this is all deception. There may have been a situation that both parties were talking around. No one wanted to address it. No one really wanted to just be very straightforward. This month, Libra, is all about speaking from the heart. And you've been very afraid to do that. There might be some pain there that's preventing you from doing it, but it's going to result in healing. No matter how this manifests in your life, you are going to be healing your heart, but you have to speak it. Okay? Wow. You're shining light on a situation that people just did not want to address, too. But it's actually bringing healing. And sometimes people resist that. And maybe that's why you're afraid of being the one to do it. You don't want to be the one to say this truth, to drop the truth bomb here, to open up this conversation. But it's important that you do have a conversation here. I really feel that. Something needs to be talked about. And you need to let go of carrying this burden. The group I'm tapping into, you've carried a lot of this weight. You have felt isolated in this as well. And now you're really speaking up. And it actually brings healing. You're afraid of causing a tower moment. And if you do, that's on the other person, because what you're doing is the potential, the opportunity to heal. Wow, 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 wow. Okay. Some of you are going to need to be working with your throat chakra. Also, some of you are like rekindling something to do with like music or poetry. That's actually coming up as well. Some form of expression, maybe singing, actually. Your Starseed Oracle card, Perspective, zoom out, none of this matters. Yeah, you're getting so caught up on the details. You're acting very Virgo-like with this Virgo full moon. It's unsettling a lot of things. And really zoom out and see your life as a whole. See the situation around you. Sometimes when you're in the heat of the moment, sometimes when you're going through something, it just seems like that's all your life is. Don't get so consumed by this. And the last sentence here, common ground. Finding common ground. You are bridging a gap. You are having a conversation that needed to happen a while ago, it feels like. And it's maybe you've been avoiding it, maybe you've not wanted to open up, but finally, Libra, you are, and it actually has the potential to bring some healing and maybe even spark a relationship or reconnect with someone from the past. And that doesn't have to be romantic either. That could be with a friend. But I actually do have to wonder if it's romantic for a good number of you, a handful of you, because I'm getting that vibe a little bit. And I don't like to go there because sometimes I feel like on YouTube people will watch these readings and they get these false expectations. I'm not trying to like plant that seed. Use your own discernment, use your own intuition here. Like if you haven't heard from this person in years, I'm not going to say that they're going to come back, but maybe they do. If that happens, maybe this is your message, but more so this is you finally opening up. And communication is so healing and gaining perspective. Asking other perspectives as well. You might be finding out a different perspective about a past situation, Libra, that changes the story you have. And it really, you might have felt deceived by someone, but it's almost like you misinterpreted it. And maybe that's why you're second guessing yourself a lot. That's very interesting. So this is a really interesting reading. I would love to hear in the comments down below what is going on for all of you. Again, your likes, shares, comments, and subscribes all help this channel grow, all helps me spread these messages, so I appreciate any of that. Again, all of my links are in the description box down below for those of you who are interested in personal readings or Reiki sessions. And I will see you all in the next video. I am wishing you a happy March. Take care, Libra.